slots and expansions, it's easy to get focused on the slots or the numbers, but we know all the things that go into that, keeping high quality and then expanding high quality. And so we want to make sure that the network is a backbone for all of those supports so that our centers can expand, serve the communities, but they're supported to do so and to retain their high quality, which is the reason they're so prized in our communities. So one of the goals, of course, we had was that by 2027, we are going to increase by 300 spaces. Again, that's a number, but we want to think about all the aspects that go into that, all the business expertise on their end, the high quality and professional development of their teachers, the passion that goes behind this as well, and the struggles that go into all of that. Saying all of that, though, we were already able to have 53 new childcare slots, and we are projected to have another 126 new childcare slots in 2025, edging on 2026 because we know how funding works. But we're really excited, and this is, again, supported by the network, but this is led by the people on the ground doing these expansion work. So the directors, the teachers, and kind of all the partners that have been able to align with us throughout this process. And one of the things we want to highlight especially is the Gorham Community Learning Center, because they actually started some of this expansion work way before we even had a convening a little bit. So I would love to highlight Melinda, who's also our lead of the Coös County Director Network and the director for GCLC.
So a little bit of backstory. 3 centers closed in the Coös County area. And we were getting phone calls daily. We were getting emails. We were getting parents crying to us saying we need spots for our childcare, and we were already at capacity. We started getting a really lengthy wait list. So we, as a team, said we need to figure something out. So we started brainstorming. We started looking at different properties, and we kind of figured out that that wasn't exactly what we wanted to do. We were trying to think of like supervision wise, like it would have to require more staff because it was more closed in. So we just started having a conversation with our local SAU. One of our board members actually works for the SAU, so we were just kind of like, listen, this is our problem. We need help trying to figure this out. We were like, we just need a room somewhere. It's just to open up more. So they were able to give us a room at the Ed Fenn Elementary School where we are able to take 20 pre-K students. Julianne is our site director over there. Which that in itself has opened up a ton of opportunities, not only just for childcare space, but it's opened up the opportunities for the children to transition earlier. There's been great success with that. The kids go into kindergarten knowing how to walk in a hallway, knowing how to eat in a cafeteria. SAU 20 is unique in that it is in charge of Milan School and Gorham schools. So after the success of the one at Ed Fenn, we were approached to see if we would take over the Milan School program. And they said, listen, there's a need for full day care. Can you guys help us out? So we started having those conversations, and then this fall we opened up our second satellite site at Milan Village School, which opened up 20 slots up there. That's for children ages 3 to 5 Milan and Denver students. So just within those 2 expansions, we've opened up 40 slots. And then on top of all of this that's been going on, we decided that we were going to continue to kind of look at the bigger picture. We're only licensed for 39 at our current capacity. We were able to change age groups there. We were able to take some more infants and some more toddlers, with us being able to move our 4-year-olds out of the building. So we decided that we were going to start looking at some different real estate. So part of what we started doing is we kind of were bouncing the idea off of Errol, and we were like, listen, like, this is something that we need. We think we can do this, like, help us. So she was able to get us in contact with Ahead, and they have been crucial in this whole entire expansion because they have the knowledge that we do not. We know nothing about real estate, buildings, anything. So we ended up touring 2 commercial facilities. One that was affordable, and they went in there. They had architects and inspectors and stuff go in there, and they were telling us like we would need to do all of this work, blah blah blah, whatever. And then the Northeast Credit Union building went up in the middle of all this, and we were like, that would be a dream. It was way above what we thought that we would be able to get. And we just kind of like on like a Saturday we were messaging Errol. We were like, Errol, look at this building, it's so perfect. So we ended up going to tour that building with one of our real estate people that we've been working with. And a head went with us, and they basically told us that what we can get for both of the buildings, the Northeast Credit Union was the best choice we had because there was minimal work that needs to be done. It was bigger capacity would be able to hold, and kind of started doing that stuff. So then that's when Northeast Credit Union came into play. So we started having conversations with the president of Northeast Credit Union and their real estate people, and then our real estate people. And we were able to, with a heads held, come up with a very favorable lease for us that we were able to do for 2 years for the purpose of grant cycles that we were able to pursue. So we did end up writing for a CDBG, which was for acquisition of the building. We did receive that, or we are receiving it. We were awarded it. We're still in the process of that. That was with partnership with the town of Gorham, which they've been amazing throughout this whole experience. They're very supportive of childcare in our area. They understand that it's necessary, and it's part of the infrastructure of a community. We've been trying to figure out other funding stats. The Tillotsons were able to give us some money. Grant United Way was able to give us some money for startup costs. They're also helping pay for the work that HEAD's doing, because there's a ton of behind the scenes stuff that they're doing to help us out. And then we also applied for the NBRC grant, which is going to be for the renovations and repairs of the building to get it up to code. We did find out the beginning of January that we were awarded that. We still have no closing date or anything really definite on when we're going in. There is renovations that we have to do to the building, and now with the $1 million that we were awarded, we're going to be able to do more to the building, which will be able to help us sustain the building for longer without having to put any big investments into it in the near future, which is going to be huge. And then we also applied for congressional spending through Custer's office. With all the budget things going, we're still waiting to hear about that. So hopefully we will be able to get that, and that will help us with our expansion efforts. Part of what we really are focusing on still is keeping our quality that we have. That's been something that's been important to us from day one. When we have worked with Kim Boyd on Performas, we've talked about incremental growth. So not starting with full capacity of what we'll be able to take, but starting slow so that the staff will be able to be acclimated to it, the families and the kids. We don't want to just like throw 70 something kids in the building and then realize that this is too much, and then like lose our quality, and then it just kind of go downhill. So we've really focused on trying to do that. We are starting to pilot a workforce recruitment and retention. So what we're doing is, we know that we're going to be moving within hopefully the next year if everything goes right. So we want to start training staff now. We want to start having them, get the quality measures that we have important, get, acclimated to the GCLC culture, get familiar with the families, the kids, our curriculum, things like that before we move. So that way it's also not training new staff. So that's something that we've been currently working on.
I'd say one of the big things, kind of the takeaway, is we started with a high quality center that had an amazing reputation throughout the community. Anytime you talked about it, you can talk to someone in the community, and often it wasn't even individuals with kids. They'd say, I saw the sign out front, I'm so excited. Their kids are 30, but they're excited for the community that is able to be supported through this. So we started with a high quality center, women with passion and expertise around all of these things. And also we had a phone call. One of the things that kind of kicked it off was we got in contact with the Northeast Credit Union in terms of not just their real estate agent, but we started a conversation with them, and they said, okay, well, what would you like the price to be? And I said, we want this to be a partnership between us. and because you know how crucial the community is and what they're doing. And so that began the conversation around lease plan. Because it's a nonprofit, you have to think about funding timelines. So they made it so that you could lease the property, think about renovation in a longer timeline and way below market rate versus having to come up with a large lump sum kind of right off the bat, or at least that would make it so they had to go full capacity and worry about losing their quality. So a lot of it was kind of these conversations and partnership at the community level and starting with a strong center. And you guys brought it up perfectly, the fact that some of these conversations were, we saw this building and all three of us, they were like, we love it, it's phenomenal. I said, it looks beautiful. I don't know anything about real estate. I know a guy who does. And so that's where Harrison from the Affordable Housing and Economic Development Association was kind of able to come in. So all of these community sort of interactions really do make a difference, and sometimes it's a phone call and something that could be a very daunting organization, and at the other end it is somebody that could be very committed to community just as much as you are and shoot your shot, I would say, in some of these. So we definitely started with a strong, secure base, otherwise expansion's very difficult.
And with that, we've also been approached by the Anderson Valley Hospital to try to partner with them to create another satellite site. Wow. So we're in the very beginning stages of that. We just toured the facility with our licensing coordinator, and we're going to start running numbers to see what that looks like.
And if you're thinking about these expansions, you also think about that conversation started with, well, don't say no right away then. Because they are doing amazing things and a lot of our directors, but they're also running the day-to-day. So if you think about the expansion or the workforce and we're asking directors to put more on their table or teachers to put more on their table, you also have to think of how can we give you capacity so that this all comes to fruition and we don't just burn you out in the meantime. So always kind of that.